If this comes up tomorrow night, what's going to be her defense?
Well, I expect it to come up tomorrow because what else could Donald Trump possibly do to distract from the horrible 2 weeks he's had? I think that there are a couple of really important points here. First of all, on the issue of classification itself, it is common for folks within departments and between departments to discuss classification of emails. And I think more importantly, both the FBI and the State Department have called into question the initial report, acknowledging that there was no quid pro quo, acknowledging, in fact, that parts of the email were classified, but also even further within the report, there were conflicts between two reports that happened and were released this week. And so at the end of the day, I think she'll address it.
Yeah, the mere suggestion of it is a crime. So how does she address it then, Guy?
Well, I think with the facts, and also by pointing out the fact that neither she nor the campaign were involved in this discussion as it was ongoing.
Here is part of the email on screen, redacted. That's an individual's name at the FBI. Indicated that he had been contacted by Patrick Kennedy, Undersecretary of State, who had asked his assistance in altering the email's classification in exchange for a quid pro quo. And apparently it wasn't just one time. It was repeatedly. So now you start to get into the potential for a pattern for requests for lowering classifications to essentially protect her. And just on the surface, Guy, it doesn't look good.
Well, first of all, as you might imagine, I was not a part of the internal conversation, so I think some of these questions would be best addressed to the State Department and the FBI. However, I would note that you just happened to leave out the part of the report that actually directly contradicted this and said, in fact, it was the FBI that had brought this up. So I think you have a conflicting report. You have a New York Times story today that says both the FBI and the State Department suggest that there was no quid pro quo, and in fact, there wasn't one offered. And so I think to get to the bottom of it, these questions should be directed to the two agencies. But it's important to point out that neither Hillary nor the Clinton campaign had anything to do with these conversations. And at the end of the day, the reason Donald Trump is discussing it is to distract from the fact that he has had probably the worst 2 weeks in modern presidential campaign history.